In this video, I'm going to share with you the week as in the life of an instructional designer who works from home and is freelance. So I think that this is going to be valuable for a lot of you who are thinking about transitioning into this role, or maybe thinking about transitioning from a role that is in a place and now is going to be at your home. What I wanted to do is share with you the week in the life, because my day is actually varies depending on the day of the week. And I'm also going to share with you some tips and strategies that I've learned along the way to basically optimize the way that you work and make sure that you keep your sanity. Over a decade, I've been working from home. And what is fantastic is that I've actually worked in the context of a corporate office. I've worked in an academic office as well. And one of the things that I found is that I love working from home. I know it's not for everybody, and not everybody has the dedicated space to do it, but that's one of the things that is always a non-negotiable for me, is I've always had a dedicated space for me that is for me to work quietly, be uninterrupted. The other thing I would say is that I've tried to do co-working, and I've seen those co-working offices, and for me, those things are absolute distraction. And I noticed that after working from home for a while and then going back to an office for a little bit, I realized also that I am way more productive at home. And a lot of people are worried about that, whether they'll be able to do it. So hopefully what this video will show you is maybe some strategies on how to structure your time and day in order to be able to be very productive and feel like you've accomplished a lot. So first off, let's get started. Now, my week begins on Sunday. And the reason I say that is because Sundays, it's kind of quiet. You can set the tone for what you're going to accomplish. What are those major milestones that you want to hit, especially with projects and with networking. And what you'll notice throughout the week, as you see most of these days, is that networking and prospecting and getting clients and reaching out to people and doing project proposals fills a big chunk of my time. And then there's going to be other activities that I'm doing. One of the things that I usually messed up on when I messed up is that there would be days and weeks that I would dedicate to project work for my customers, and then I would forget to prospect. And so what would happen is the projects would be finished and I would have to go out and scramble again to find a new project to work on. Sunday is my planning day. Sunday is the day that I do my reading as well, learning and planning the week, looking at the calendar, seeing what's coming up and what major milestones I want to hit that week. That's also the day that I do all my food prep, because I like to keep my decisions as minimal as possible during the week, because we only have a bandwidth of so much. What I usually do is either Sunday or Saturday, if I don't get it all in, is I prep my entire meals for the week. I freeze them, and then I have basically breakfast and lunch, which is the 2 meals that I eat. I only eat 2 meals a day. Those are the 2 things that I have ready for the entire week. Monday, every single day begins with me looking at the calendar, seeing what's coming up in the day, and then making sure that basically my planner, which is a physical notebook, reflects that. This doesn't take very much time. The next piece I do is basically networking, is figuring out who I want to work with, finding organizations that I want to work with, networking with people that might be interested in a project. So those are the things that I do very first thing in the morning. Then I have breakfast, because I have earned it. And my breakfast is usually the same thing, which is oatmeal and coffee. Then I have meetings, and usually Mondays are dedicated to meetings with stakeholders to see how we are going to achieve our milestones throughout the week. They are also meetings with contractors to see where they're at and how we're going to also meet on, make progress on those milestones. So one of the things I'm doing is this day is dedicated to meetings and dedicated to making sure that the rest of the week flows smoothly. Then I take a little bit of a lunch. Obviously, I have something prepared already, so I defrost that, or I put it in the oven to defrost it. After lunch, I have a walk, and I never listen to anything on the walks where I am actually trying to come up with an idea or solve a problem. So it depends on the type of day that it is. On Mondays, because of the meetings being kind of draining, what you want to do is definitely break your time up. Sometimes I'll have a nap. Because it's necessary in order to be able to be fresh. Tuesday is this very same, and what I also wanted to mention is that at the end of the day, every single day, what you do is you look at the day the next day, and I plan tomorrow today. Do I do it consistently? Hell nah. But one of the things that I know successful people do is plan the next day, the day before, and that is something that you can do in that physical planner. Monday, Tuesday are very much dedicated to prospecting and meetings, and also making sure that you're on, you're replying to emails, all those things, all those busy little things are taken care of, because then I have 2 days that are dedicated to project work. So that would be Wednesday and Thursday. And so when I wake up on those days, I still have my regular little bit of planning, a little bit of networking in the morning, tiny bit. I have my breakfast, and then I hit it hard with uninterrupted time to work on projects. Working on projects can include things like meeting with SMEs and stakeholders in order to talk about a project, let's say in detail, like a specific aspect. It's not about planning at all. These are very focused, small, short meetings that have to do with the development piece. The other thing that I'll be doing is practitioner interviews on those days to flesh out my scenarios. The other thing I'll be doing on those days is research about my topic. So what happens is, I think having those 2 days back to back that are about project development gives you this deep immersion. And what happens is, those are the days that I go for a lot of walks. Those are the days where you also bring your iPhone or something like that on those walks, because that's when ideas and problems will actually resolve themselves, because you are in nature. And I recommend nature walks versus urban walks, because there's no signage, no words, usually less people, and everybody's kind of focused in on themselves. And so what happens is your mind, your subconscious mind, is basically allowed to work out the problems that you have and be creative. And so it's funny, because on those days probably have more walks than others, and I actually get more work done because it is focused exclusively on those projects. And when meetings do happen, they are very focused around solving a problem or working on that project. We're on Friday already? What? Okay, so Friday, it really depends on how the week went. If the project that I was working on is not where I want to be, I can use Friday morning to really push through and catch up on it. Also, the other thing that Friday is good for is catching up on the minutia that you didn't catch up on, emails, all those things that are, urgent but not really that important. Also, Fridays are really great for in the afternoon to catch up on some reading, because one of the things you're doing is you're tired, but also you want to be productive. And so reading about your profession, about your business, learning a little bit more if you're up for it, that's a great time to do that, is kind of reward yourself at the end of the week with the afternoon being dedicated to you, including improving your skills. And Saturday. So Saturday for me this is what I do. I shut off all tech and I basically go into the woods to completely recoup. I find nature does that for me. And then when I come back home, those are the days where I do some fun cooking, maybe a little bit of chores. But basically Saturday is kind of a shutdown time. So I really have that day dedicated off, and I really don't touch the computer at all, and I don't check my emails. This is the example I've set for myself and for everybody else. They don't expect me to be on social media or do anything on that day that requires the internet. This is kind of the rolling evolution that I've kept for the past decade. There are a couple of things that I suggest you do, which is, like I said, block that time and make it sacred time for you to work and think, because that really makes a difference. And you can be super productive when your work is not, disturbed or punctuated with meetings. It's simply, it's a time multiplier if you can do that. The other thing I found is a lot of people, I think when they transition into the home, they get super casual. They get so casual that it's kind of gross. And so what I suggest is that you still keep up the look and a professional kind of appearance. And I'm not saying you have to, put on the suit and tie, but one of the things that I found is that the most successful people, they still, they're comfortable, but one of the things they do is they have a kind of a uniform that they wear to work every day. But one of the things you can do is, I mentioned the decision fatigue is not only can you Set up your wardrobe so that it doesn't drain you every day trying to figure out what you're going to wear, but also it is something that puts you in a workflow mood and you show up and you look professional and you look clean. Your place looks good. All those things, because you are now running a business, are very important. And also the other thing is that's super important. You are running a business. So when you work from home as a freelancer, as an independent consultant, all those things, like I mentioned, there will be a big chunk of your time marketing, a big chunk of your time networking, a big chunk of your time doing project proposals. Those things are important. They're the lifeblood of your business, and therefore you cannot just rely on project work and immerse yourself in it entirely, because you also need to have the next one in the pipeline. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, put them in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so that you see more content like this. Now, if you are interested in finding out more about what it takes to become a professional freelancer, and you have questions about what it would take to start acquiring these skills and maybe jumping on and doing your own business and becoming somebody who provides these services from their home, I'll put a link down below this video. There'll be a strategy session you can jump on and talk to one of the members of my team so that you can figure out if this is something that would be a good fit for you. Otherwise, have a fabulous rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye.